Hi guys, so guess what? I just came back from, I went out. And when I come back, apparently there's a video that Promise made, Urunyaga, what, hey, whatever. And then there are some comments of some people, hey, Owami, you're barren, hey, what, you can't have babies and whatever. And I'm like, I've spoken about this on YouTube, but I understand that people on TikTok, they do not know me. So today I'm going to detail this aspect, even though full videos are there on YouTube, Shibubu, okay? The other part again that you guys need to understand is that Promise blocked me here. She came to my DMs and I will read you guys soon. I will read you guys what she sent me and what I said to her back that made me block her because I don't have time for nonsense. So basically, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and just detail to you guys what happened. I was married to my ex-husband for a long time. However, due to the fact that obviously my mom passed, my father has always been like, he has been a bad father for years, doesn't want to support his kids and whatever. I had to take accountability of my sisters, right? And my younger sister, who is Ray's mom, fell pregnant and gave birth in 2014, which means that since 2014, guys, I've been a mother of three. Now I was blessed at the fact that my ex was someone that was very supportive, and also were also blessed. Now my ex-husband never had any baby mamas kaloku. Okay, he didn't have baby mamas outside. I didn't have kids, he didn't have kids. So the only children that we were focusing on were my sisters and obviously Uri, right? I had this thing where I was like, I don't want to have babies before I'm financially independent. My mother taught me, "Uru, when you have a baby with a man, know that that child is yours. So you need to make sure that you're at a place where you can be able to fully support these kids." And so I honestly just, it was just a lot. My ex and I spoke, we agreed. And then after that, I was like, okay, we can have a baby after you pay lobola because I fought and said for a very long time, guys, the guy didn't have money to go pay lobola. You guys know, or some of you may know about this story until I was even on YouTube, and then he went to pay lobola, but I even borrowed him money for lobola. I've spoken about this. So if you want the full stories, guys, you can go to YouTube. Kenya go tsena Barren nnake Barren. Hi wo. So 2018, at December, that was when my lobola was paid. When we came back from Venda, that was when we were like, okay, all methods are out. Mind you guys, I never ever was in any contraceptive, like I was not on any injection or medication. However, we had a way, obviously, that we would use, which I feel like would be TMI, to make sure that obviously there's no pregnancy. We both agreed we were not ready for a child. But after 2018, December, that was when we were like, okay, the light is green, the lobola has been paid, we are married now, so we can have a child. The whole of 2019, guys, we tried, nothing was happening. Now, mind you, as I said, my ex does not have a child, I do not have a child, so it's not a matter of like they can sit and be like, it's this. Okay, let's go to part.
Sorry guys, watch the video up to the end. All the other parts that Owami made are in this video. So that is promise dancing, and the only advice I would like to give is that never ever bash somebody or call them out for not having children. Don't call anybody barren. Do not ever do that because you don't have the keys to your children's lives. That is really true. Never ever do that. So continue watching the video. The other parts are coming, and let me know what your thoughts are in this regard.
Hi guys, let's continue. So 2019, nothing was happening. So get it, okay, you know what? That is fine. We go to the doctor. We went to the doctor, I think June of 2019. The same surgeon, right, that I went back to 2020. He was like a family doctor. He was like our doctor, right? Like anything would go there. So basically, like he was like, no, you guys have, how long have you been trying? We say 6 months. Like, no, maybe you're missing your cycles and whatever. Like, it's nothing to be alarmed of. And he didn't even do any checkups, right? And then after that, 2020, I think that was in January, if I'm not mistaken, we go back to the same doctor. That was now after a year of us trying. And then he basically says that, okay, you know what, let me go ahead and check you. Now, mind you guys, when I'd gone there, I'd gone for something completely different, not even that. But I was gonna add that because obviously we were at a point where we were like, okay, we want a baby, but it was not happening. The doctor checks me out and he looks at me and is like, oh, I've definitely seen the problem. The problem is that you have a deformed womb. You can never ever have kids. After that, you guys, like, I'm still just, I remember I almost had a panic attack. Like, I definitely had an anxiety attack, like laying there, and I'm like, what? Like, and then it's like, no, relax, don't worry, like, you've got bigger problems. Literally, that's what he said to me. And then he was like, I can actually schedule you for next week Wednesday for us to have to remove your womb. I'm like, Now, obviously, at that point, you guys, I was still very tight with my ex. And I didn't know anything. Guys, now I was in love, shame. Hey. So, when I went out, guys, like, I was distraught. I was distraught. I feel like if you guys want a story time of exactly what happened when I was in that doctor's room, just comment and I'll give you guys the details. But when I went out, I called my aunt. I was with my ex in the car. I'm calling my aunt. I'm crying, guys. I'm devastated. The doctor is saying I'll never have a child. He's saying I've got a deformed womb. What? My aunt was like, Ayona will never ever happen. No one is touching your womb. If anything, you can actually come back home. We've got doctors that will be able to check you out and everything, but no one is touching you. Now, I am so blessed of the fact that I went to Medunsa and I went to a medical school. I did go and do BK, even though I didn't finish. So I had a knowledge of, like, I know different types of doctors. I know that he's a surgeon. He can operate and remove stuff, but he's not a gynecologist. So I knew that I definitely had to go to a specialist. Now I remember that at that time we were in Free State, right? We looked for a doctor. The only doctor that got recommended to me was this gynecologist that is in Secunda. And we booked an appointment, and he seemed to be booked because we only got an appointment 2 weeks after I'd gotten those news from the surgeon. Guys, I cannot explain to you the pain I felt when that doctor told me you can never have kids. Like, I don't think I can be able to, like, literally. Let's go to part 3. So, as I was saying, guys, like, when that doctor said what he said, the pain that I felt, guys, I can't even explain. I really cannot explain. It was so sharp in my heart that I was like, guys, I felt like dying. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yo, it was so painful. The 2 weeks wait that I had to wait to go see the gynecologist, guys, it felt like years. It felt like years. Like, okay. After 2 weeks, we go to Secunda, we meet the gynecologist, and as I was in the room, guys, it was torture and nightmare, okay? The doctor comes in, he takes the scans, and he kept on saying, and he's doing the click. Guys, at this point, remember, when we went there, we didn't tell this doctor, they're saying I have a deformed womb or whatever. We just went there because I was like, I need obviously a second opinion, and I also just needed to be a gynecologist, especially someone that is specialized with women. Now, after that, he sits us in an office where he's explaining everything. So he says, yes, ma'am, you know what? I have found a problem with you. There's something that I have to tell you. You unfortunately have fibroids. At that point, guys, I wasn't too familiar with what fibroids are and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I knew of fibroids, but it wasn't anything that I would say that I used to, like, be like, this and this, because I, like, you will research on something more when it affects you personally. Now, I wanted to understand, you're saying that I've got fibroids, and then my ex and I were very much concerned, like, okay, what about the womb? Like, okay, is my womb okay? What's going on? The gynecologist basically says that no, your womb is fine, but you have got fibroids. You've got another fibroid that is very close to your womb, that is a size of a womb, which is very big. You understand? Now, when we now explain to say, okay, the previous doctor said that I had a deformed womb, like, what's going on? He says that, okay, the surgeon, due to the fact that he's a surgeon, obviously is not a gynecologist, his equipment is also not as advanced to can see everything that needs to be seen. He must have mistaken the fibroid for my womb, because the fibroid was as big as the size of my womb. Now, he mentions that I didn't just have one fibroid, I had other fibroids as well. And he said the best way to deal with this is we will have to operate and remove the fibroids. And then after that, obviously, you're going to be fine. Which, obviously, guys, it was like, me hearing that I had fibroids was like a blessing at that time, because remember, I'm moving from a place where I'm being told my womb is deformed and this and this. So when they said that it's fibroids, you need an operation, guys, I was willing, like, I was like, yes, please operate. Like, as long as my womb is fine, as long as everything is fine, just operate and remove the fibroids. Now, guys, let's go to part 4. Now, after that, they booked the appointment. When they booked the appointment, guys, when I went to see the gynecologist, it was like in February, if I'm not mistaken. Remember, guys, this thing started 2020, but I think I remember it was in February. Then, when we made the appointment was made for March. And then the day that we had lockdown was the day that I was supposed to go for the operation. And all operations were being cancelled. They were only taking emergency. Now, since now obviously it was fibroids, it was not like an emergency. So they were like, no, for now, all operations are gonna be postponed. And that was in March. Now, when we went into lockdown, my heart was obviously painful because I was like, okay, I could have been recovering now, we can get to this journey and this and that. That was when I actually found out that my ex was cheating on me, which was in April, right? So after that, it all went downhill, not even going to lie. And I remember actually because one of the main reasons why the fibroids were such a problem for me was that, guys, I was in constant pain. Sorry, the pain that I used to feel, I can go for the operation a billion times before I can take the pain that I used to feel at the fibroids. So every time when I had to go on my periods, the pains that I would feel. And I remember I would call the doctor's office crying, guys, it's an emergency. Can you guys please operate and remove the fibroids? I'm at a point where I can't take the pain anymore. And I just felt like, they really didn't care too much for me. Now, I do have a doctor friend that, I spoke to, and he was like, you know what, my wife actually got help there. She also had, problems. And then there's this doctor. And the doctor that my friend recommended is Dr. Mukaya. He is in Sunning Hill. I think it's Netcare, if I'm not mistaken. He is the best. If you are having fibroids, you're struggling with infertility or anything, please, you can try check him out. It's Dr. Mukaya, and you can check him out there by Sunning Hill. Now, when I went to that doctor, guys, he checked me out, he did. The consultation took over 45 minutes for sure. And he was so thorough. He's a black doctor. The gynecologist that was in Free State was an Indian doctor. When he went and he checked me, guys, after checking, when we went to sit for him to explain everything, because when I went to him as well, I said nothing. That's the rule that I have. I don't give a doctor any whatever. He has to tell me what is wrong with me without me having to tell him first what the other doctor said. Now, Dr. Mkaya sits down with me, and the first thing he said was that you must really have a lot of pain when you go on your periods. Like, he understood the pain, guys. I remember I just started because I was like, finally someone understands me. Guys, I went through it. Kadi fibroids in Kosiami, guys, let's go to part 5. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna try and not make it too many parts. But anyway, Dr. Mkaya is the one that ended up operating me at the 9th of December 2020. Got the fibroids out, confirmed everything was fine, the womb is fine. However, the doctors did also say that your ex, like my ex-husband, does not have a child. I don't have a child. So they can't say, or it was the fibroids that were the reason why we couldn't fall pregnant. They did say that they wanted to also do a sperm count on my ex, but he was honestly just freaked out about it. Nasanyaki, guys, and I was not going to push because I'd already found out that he was cheating, and I knew that I was leaving the marriage. So after that, obviously, I healed. Everything was fine. And then, Hunali, this other girl on YouTube that obviously wanted attention, she decided that she was going to team up with my ex. And then now, okay, now at the age of 16, I had an abortion. I damaged my womb. And then I can't have kids. I'm barren, basically, right? Now, that is the same situation that I am in court right now for defamation of character because of that. Now, I have spoken to my doctor. They do have my file. Everything is there. My womb is intact. Everything is there. And so, like, when we go to court, guys, it's just going to be a lot, shame, I won't lie, because this man was super spiteful. Not only was he talking about how I can't have kids, he started talking about how apparently I wouldn't bath for 4 days. Like, think about it, guys. But I used to put makeup. How normal is that? But anyway, asikolapo. And then also they say he claims, him and the girl, they claim with my SUV, basically, I did fraud. It's my car that someone got it for me because now I'm blacklisted. There's a lot of things, guys, that came out. And obviously, I left him. He knows he lost a good one. And so maybe he's going to try to like ruin my reputation for maybe the next person. But it didn't work. So So this whole scenario of Owami is barren. It started there. It's just unfortunate that we are still in court right now. And obviously, for a fact, I know that she's going to lose because she lied. You know, my womb is intact, everything is there. Even at the last appointment that I had with my gynecologist, not the last, the first appointment I had when it was a week, the doctor was like, hey, you know, so let's talk now about the baby. And I was like, oh, we're not having a child anymore, I'm getting a divorce. And so he was like super excited to say he wants to help. That's why I'm saying, if you're a woman that right now you're struggling with infertility, or you're struggling with, you know, fibroids, there's an operation that's needed and whatever, guys, Dr. Mukaya is the best gynecologist I've ever met. That man understands, Uri, as women, especially in the black culture, having a child is something that is very important. It can even literally make or break your marriage. So he fully understands that. His first thing was, we're gonna definitely make sure that we save the womb. I love him. I can't even praise him enough, guys. Okay, so let's just go to part 6. So for me, guys, it does seem like Promise, this is what she does, Nji. If she's fighting with someone that does not have kids yet, or someone that just can't have kids, she goes for the, hey, you're barren, whatever, as if she has got the keys to her children's lives. But let me tell you something, now you came wrong, Shem. Now I'm not barren, bitch. I'm not barren. Like, and the other thing again that I'm gonna go ahead and say is this, guys, ne? Oh, Promise, even in the video that I posted, at least it was her own words talking. She's talking about how, you know, ususpect or Chomia house said Iyakwa, not Uri, her husband approached that girl. Even if that girl approached her husband, he definitely was into it. They were in a relationship. This woman has been there since 2015 from her own mouth. You understand? She says they broke up not because of her, but even when they broke up, she is doing the thing so much that her husband couldn't even stay away. He even went there. Her husband went back. Not only the girl went back, her husband was there. Nearly back together. They both went back to a point where they even made a child. The same child that now Promise Makunyan is able to sit down, so as if that's not your husband's child, girl. Whether I have a child or not, wrong, right, and wrong. And if you are going to be a woman that claims, sorry, we need to talk about good marriages. You need to talk about it all. I've never heard Promise talk about the challenges that she faces as a stepmother, which I'm definitely sure that she's facing them, especially because she's having all these fights with her second husband's baby mama. So if you're gonna come out here and have content at least that matters. Teach people the real truth. You understand what I'm saying? So now you're going to try and diverge. Hey, namu to this and this and this. Barren, whatever. It's not going to work, my darling. Okay. Instead of being on the internet, uruhana talking nonsense, go fix things with your husband's baby mama. Number 2. Because at the end of the day, those kids are gonna be a part of your life forever. That woman is a part of your life forever. And you need to stop talking about that woman as if she's like some sort of a bitch or whatever. That was what she did. It's what she did. He had not married you, my darling. And it does seem like at one point she had an up on you. We all know that when women are pregnant, most of them, they're at their most vulnerable state. So it is such a low blow, actually, to go to a man when his woman is pregnant, because she was his woman at that time. You better get it right, because when you're very delusional, Shem. This is why I think now you think having kids and having a husband is the biggest accomplishments in the world. And no, some of us are still making sure that we build ourselves and our careers out of it. Guys, I don't know why my part 8 TikTok removed it immediately. I don't know, maybe there's something I said that I'm not supposed to, but I disputed it in the morning. If not, then I will re-record and tell you what I was saying. Or Promise.
So yeah, Owami went in details to just Promise that she's not barren and all that, and I just personally feel like she doesn't owe anybody an explanation. And it's disgusting coming from a woman like Promise, actually coming for somebody for not having children. No matter what the facts are, nobody has the power to their womb. So let me know what your thoughts are.